Contrary to popular belief, life is not like a box of chocolates. It's more like cake. What is life without a little fun sprinkled into it, right? That was a really fun experience having my godkids chase me around with eggs and flour. I highly recommend you try it sometime. That's a perfect segue into what I'm going to talk about today. Looking kind of funky here. Baking, more specifically cake. And who doesn't love cake? Anyone that says they don't love cake is a liar, because there's always one cake at minimum that if it were sitting in front of them, it wouldn't be there very long. I've got like 3 or 4 of them at least. I could eat the whole thing, right? And what makes the cake great? All of it, not the actual eating the whole thing all in one sitting, but what goes into making the cake. And I've had to learn this experience myself, or learn this lesson myself. A few years ago, I was waking up every morning for weeks on end, like just, it's almost like a heart attack waking up. Like, oh, I gotta go to this job today, I gotta make sales, I gotta this, I gotta that. And it was just so stressful, and I was only focused on this one aspect of life. And so what makes cake great are a few different things. You got flour, you got sugar, you got your egg, and your baking powder, and then whatever other little things for flavorings and such. But what is the largest component of a cake? It's actually the flour, which you would not eat on its own, but it is the largest part of it. So what makes the cake good is all of it, including the parts you wouldn't even like individually. So we can take flour and look at it in life as the mundane day-to-day things. Gotta make dinner, gotta go to work, gotta make sure this paperwork for this insurance thing is done. Like all that stuff that comes along and you're like, gotta do that. It's there, we get it, it's a part of life. But if you only focus on that, then you don't get cake. You do need to have your sugar in there, but you can't try and avoid the flour. You can't try and avoid that. The sweeter things in life, this vacation, that vacation, the recital for the kid, getting married, like you need that in there, but you can't live for the weekends. You gotta have them both to have your cake. And there's always gotta be a rising agent. We'll call that growth, your baking powder. Hopefully no one's sitting in a corner just huddling eating this thing, because you don't want that kind of growth. But yeah, your growth, your moments where you realize I was wrong and you apologize. Taking some time to be introspective on your life. And something my cousin pointed out, the binding agents of all this. You got eggs and milk. Everything else is dry products, but your eggs and milk are your binding agents. That's your friends and your family. You've got to have your friends and your family. You've got to have a support system. None of us were created to live in our own island and on our own. So when life's really got you down, look, you may have a flowery moment, a death in the family or something going on, and that is what it is, but that's just for a time. Don't get lost forgetting all the other good ingredients, or don't get so stuck in the flavorful, sweeter ingredients that you forget the main stuff in life too. You can't hide away from that. So we need all the parts and pieces of it. Back to that example where I was waking up petrified for my day. It really was a heart attack every morning. It was terrible. And so what I did is I had this epiphany that I could wake up and decide to think for the first thing in the morning 5 new different things different from the day before that I'm grateful for. And it sounds stupid, but it worked. It took about 2 weeks in of like just laying there and thinking of things that I was grateful for, and it got to where I'd wake up and I'd start my day well. I wasn't like having a panic attack as soon as I opened my eyes. It took a couple weeks. It took some trial and error, a couple times of forgetting to do it, but once I did, it made life great. And it's just these little things of not forgetting the sweet, but not forgetting the flour, putting it all in the right proportion. I'm going to stop stumbling along. I appreciate y'all taking the time to listen. Please share this with somebody else so they can get this little epiphany. Maybe they need this today. You might not have, but someone out there does. I know it made my life better. Thank y'all for listening. Have an awesome day.